Who are the GOATs of the challenge in history? Top three. Give me your 1, 2, and 3 for men and women.
If I'm gonna be completely honest, I mean, I gotta give it to Johnny Bananas number one. You have to. I mean, it is what it is. CT number two. CT has had a level of consistency, even though he hasn't been on every challenge. He's been on a lot of challenges.
Oh, yeah.
And
he's made quite a comeback since his divorce, right?
Yeah,
he
yeah.
got divorced.
He rededicated himself to the game and really has gotten his body, up and down. But last couple seasons, and the key to CT's game is, and why I give him a lot of respect, CT never had to be Johnny. He never had to be Wes. He never had to be conniving. He never had to be that sneaky. He never had to get this large alliance to boost him up. He just relied on his absolute skill, his absolute, I'm CT. You know what I mean? It's an intimidation factor where some people haven't even challenged him because they know if we don't get him out early, it's going to be hard to get him out late. And number three is tough because, honestly, I like to give Kenny some credit. You know what I mean? I know that's a kind of taboo thing within the community, so I'll put Kenny off to the side as an asterisk. Evan and Kenny, they both were great challenges, and they ran this game for years, man. If it wasn't for Kenny and Evan, Johnny would be nothing. That's what we call it. If I'm gonna call Johnny number one, you can't not acknowledge Kenny and Evan. And we know it was some controversy. Maybe you want to touch on, maybe not, but that's why they aren't really considered in the community any longer. But if I'm going to go down a step further, you had to go with Darrell, just for Darrell sustained. He's won a lot. I know a lot of those challenges were more so team challenges, but he still gets credit from me. Outside of that, then you go down the line with Wes and all those people like that. But no, you got to give CT, Darrell, and Johnny Bananas that credit for being at the top of that list. On the women's side, go ahead. I'm sorry, you want to say something?
Well, I was going to say, the other folks who are kind of in that list, because I think I would probably have the same top three for the men as you. We talked about Jordan. Jordan's in the running there. We can go back really far. What about Landon?
Landon was great. Landon didn't have, and the only reason I can say, I put Darrell over Landon. Those would be to me on the same level. But Landon never made the connections, you know what I mean, that Darrell made. Darrell made connections on both women and the men's side. Landon kind of was he had Alton. Alton was a good, Mark was a pretty good ally, but Mark turned on him too. You know what I mean? I just felt like Landon was like a hired gun, like a mercenary type of guy. He won a lot of team challenges as well. But go ahead.
I feel like Alton could have done a little bit better if he had continued to play as well. And then you can throw Derek. I think you could throw Derek up there as well as one of the best players. Okay, so now on the women's side.
On the women's side, it's tough because the thing about you have to respect Cara Maria. I think she is number one as far as her longevity, as far as what she's done to fight from the bottom. Cara Maria was public enemy number one. And everybody, if you remember her first season, she was teamed up with Darrell. She dragged Darrell down. You know what I mean? That takes a certain type of person to do that. But to the point where she became the first woman to win a solo challenge on her own.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't like it was just, there was going to be a male winner and a women winner. No. She won against everybody.
Yep.
And that, to me, if that doesn't elevate you to a level above many, I think that is very commendable. To her to beat Zach in a final, that was big. So I definitely got to give Cara number one. I want to put some respect on Camilla. I don't like her as for some of the things she said out of her mouth over the years and some of her behaviors, but Camilla, she's a firecracker and she was a hell of a player. You know what I mean?
If we can erase the racist things, which we can't.
No, we can't.
But if you were to how we think about her is clearly now muddled by that, and it should be. But before that, she was one of the most entertaining people on this show. And I think because of her actions, though, they've had to pull back on a lot of the stuff, like the freedom with the alcohol and all that, because she would go psycho. So okay, so here's one because you're old school guy.
You let me get my number three. Number three was
Okay, go ahead.
number three is Evelyn.
Okay, that's the one that I wanted to know about.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. You can tell you what your thought process.
Well, Evelyn, if you have to go back to those old school shows to see how great she was, and the thing I liked about Evelyn is she was so no nonsense, and we're not talking about someone who is stacked from a height and weight perspective like Laurel. This woman was on the smaller end, but athletic. Mentality wise, she was a giant. She thought of herself as like a giant person. So I really loved her. But again, she only played in the beginning and then she never played again. And I was hoping to see her in All Stars, but she didn't even come back for All Stars.
Well, I like Evelyn because she was on the Johnny and Kenny and their train, and then she got off. You know what I mean? And she was actually one of the only women, like I was going to mention her earlier, who was like, no, I'm not doing what you want. The only reason why I knocked Evelyn down because I didn't like on the island when she had a chance to like take her game and like, no, Johnny, I'm not putting you in. I'm going to I think it was Paula. Like, and she left on the boat with them and went and they won it. It was a team final. So she won the final, but I didn't like that she let Johnny and Kenny and them kind of coerce her game. But other than that, it taught her a lesson that she can't trust anybody. And I think over years, she got so irritated. And that whole Kenny thing with Tanya and all that, that's part of the reason why she didn't come back. So when you say, why didn't she didn't come back because of that? Like, it was a lot of controversy around that.
Yeah, no, that's a solid 3. I agree with you. I think Carmaria needs to be number 1. I think Laurel probably plays this correctly in that she doesn't do it every season, and she's like taking time away from the show because she probably she would probably go crazy, right? Like, 'cause with her energy. But one person who I wanted to make sure that we mentioned, even though it is so much of a surprise to me that she is this good at the game, who is Ashley. Like, I remember watching Ashley on The Real World, and just like, she never came to mind for me as someone who would actually be good on the challenge. And she's quite good. Like, she's going to have her inconsistencies because she can often never keep her mouth shut, which makes her a target. But even so, she is a target, and she still plays this game pretty well.
Much like Camilla, they go in the same boat for me. Very good individual competitors. Very good. But I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't. She said some things out of her mouth that just rubbed me the wrong way. And I can't 100%. Support her. I can't support her, but hell of an athlete. But she just, I don't see her being like someone that you would be like, I can work with her long term, season after season. So she's a flame out eventually. You know what I mean? Like, people know her game. And if you watch the last few seasons, it's kind of been evident that, people know her game.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to check out more of our stuff, hit that subscribe button. We're adding more video podcasts to our rotation. If you want to hear more content from Fight Game Media, check out the Fight Game Media Network on Patreon. We have podcasts at least 5 days a week and often more, depending on which tier you choose. With Tier 1, you'll get pro wrestling podcasts for $2.99 a month. If you're an MMA or boxing fan, or just want even more pro wrestling audio content, check out our $7.99 a month tier. In that tier, you may even hear AEW rockstar Jon Moxley join us now and again. Also, check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Fight Game Media.